RTFC.baconicecream.com.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Evercast, your weekly dose of Evercade goodness. I'm one of your hosts, Rich. I'm also here with Ed. Richard KillDashNine. What's going on?
It's cold.
Yeah, it is.
Wait. What's cold for you? What's cold for you?
Yes, define cold.
Oh god. So it says it's 40. It says it's 48 degrees outside. So.
48.
Oh, it's
You
almost
said?
50. T-shirt weather.
Yeah.
I think it's actually like I think it's 38 out here right now.
It's 24 here.
And like,
Damn.
we don't like. There's no real heat inside of this room, and I'm just still rocking. Awesome. Anyway, we got Crow. What's going on? And
Hey, did you hear that?
No.
Oh, damn! What the?
And we got Pete, the EverCanadian himself. What's
Yo,
going on?
yo. I am EXP last.
Yes, yeah. I think this.
As are most of us.
Yeah, I think this is the only time. I think this is the only time where, like, I wound up on the hardware side coming out with one in the hand, and
Yeah.
no one else.
Actually, you know what's funny is I heard where you got yours from, and I had switched. I'm getting mine today, apparently.
Oh yeah, did you go to Best Buy?
Yeah, I did. That's when the 15th came around, and I was like, nothing happened on that page. I was like, okay, let me order from Best Buy, and I had both of them order at the same time. Let's see who delivers faster.
Yeah.
And very next day, it was shipped from Best Buy, and they kept upping the delivery date.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it was one of those experiments for me. I didn't want to like go live with like, hey, I went to Best Buy, and then everyone like cancels orders and goes to Best Buy or something like that, and then we all wait a week.
Well, I had
right.
both of them ordered at the same time.
So like I got it late on Thursday. So it did actually deliver on the day of release, but it came to me late. It was after work.
When did you order?
I ordered last Thursday.
Okay, so that's the day of you heard the announcement pretty much. You ordered from Best Buy?
Yeah, or maybe it was Friday. It was the day after.
Because
I mulled it over.
I went with Amazon, and that was
Yeah, right after the announcement was made, I went on. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can do it. Maybe do I even have the funds? And then I was cleaning my office the next morning, and I literally found money. Like,
Yeah, that was great when you told me that.
Nice.
Like I was like, oh, okay, this is awesome.
you
So
go.
like, here we go, let's go. And then I wound up ordering it. So
Did you order the tow plan cart from them too?
I did not.
Okay. I didn't either.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? There's gonna be so much stuff in here, and there is.
Yeah.
Just to mess around with and play with. I got the IREM. I got the Capcom collection. I'm like, I'm gonna be okay for however long. I mean, if they come out with the announcement, which we're also going to be talking about some other stuff that's happening right now on the Discord in a little bit. Once we know when everything's going to happen, if it's like, okay, guys, we know what the release date of the LEs are, that's going to be 3 months from now. Okay, fine, I'll order Total Plan. At that point, I'll go and get the card. But I've officially, begrudgingly, joined your Pegulous camp.
There you go. See how much better that looks?
I know, it's so naked. It doesn't have its begging clothes on. I want it. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thing, and you know, we got all sorts of crazy stuff to talk about. Obviously, we were talking about EXP. There's a Q&A happening literally right now on the Discord that probably some of you that are in the audience are also in, doing some dual screen action with us, which is awesome. If you're not, then you know, and you have Discord, pull out your phone and hop in there. They're doing a Q&A talking about EXP and all sorts of other crazy stuff. We're gonna pull stuff from there as we're going throughout the show. But first, of course, it's time to say hi to all of you in the audience. We got Douglas, he's here. We got Sergeant Bilby, what's going on? We got Lloyd R. Jim, what's up? That guy EverCanadian, he's always here. What's going on? Hey, Crow Pinball, you're doing double.
Well,
double
I had a video come up today, so I had to be on this account to answer questions in the comments.
There you go. Nice, very cool stuff. Dan Ruff is here. RMGB TV. What's going on, Nicholas? What's up? Julian D is here. Arnold is here. Dan Nastic is in the house. What's going on? Hey, Disa. What's up? Glad you can make another live show.
Deezer is actually on a rant there. That's awesome.
Is she really?
Go, girl.
Man.
Well, that Facebook group, there's a couple tools in that Facebook group that need to be moderated right out of that group, to be honest with you. There's one dude that keeps commenting on just my thumbnails but never watches the videos.
Oh, really?
Like, you're such a moron.
Oh,
People do that all the time. That is one thing I will say about the Evercade
It's like,
fans.
what energy do you have to comment? Like, why is that bothering you? Not
They-
you, Ed,
they-
the commenter.
But it's it's the internet though. Like
Yeah, but it's not Facebook group. It's supposed to be moderated.
The internet is to invite
Exactly.
somebody who's going to say something out of the side
But
of their mouth.
Rich,
Right?
this is different. This is our Facebook group. It's supposed to be moderated. I don't
That's
need
true.
trolls in there.
That's true.
I don't want to. They should be more vigilant because I'm amazed at sometimes how far along some of the chats go on, and then eventually when you report it,
Yeah.
somebody does
Mm.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So let's
idiotic.
let's get through the rest of everybody because it's a hopping chat today.
yeah, I'm reading the Discord.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Ryan, Sean, y'all
Yeah.
boring with your answers, man. Like,
there's some cool things in here.
oh yeah, their answer to how many
Answers you-
collections next year? At
Don't-
least 12. It's like, yeah, okay.
well, you know, but the
Tell us-
there's some-
they're like
there's some cool
they're
nuggets in
like AAA answers. It's like they answer you, but they don't tell you anything.
Yeah,
It's like,
Well,
Come on,
12 is
boys.
as a number.
So-
I think they're
Yeah.
still sour because England got knocked out of the World Cup.
Oh, that's brutal. All right, anyway, we got RMGB TV here, getting through this list. Let's go. Dave Lister is here. What's up? What else we got? Do we have anyone? Jason Shires is here. Hello, how's it going? Skeletrex is here. How's it going? Darian, how's it going? Karsten is here as well. Awesome. Crimson Cross, how's it going? Snake Eater 75 in the chat. What's going on? And do we have anyone? Brian F is here. What's up? How's it going? Obsidian Edge.
Oh,
how's it going? Hey, it's welcome.
I kind of got a story about how crazy Amazon is with delivering stuff really quick. My wife ordered, face plates for light switches. She ordered 3 of them, all of them at once. And they all were shipped separately on different days over a span of 6 weeks.
What? Why?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
They were like less than $1 each.
Oh my goodness. What a waste of shipping. Oh my god. That's wild.
So
anyway.
Amazon's not making any sense recently.
No, that's you gotta get some cleanups in the logistics crew. But Obsidian Edge, that's a good question, actually. So the secret of the Namco carts is they technically were never officially released in the North American territory, if I'm not mistaken. You had to get them from Funstock or somebody over in Europe and have them shipped over to you because of the licensing that was involved.
Always
In the
cut the piggy out of the paper.
You can cut the Peggy out of the
Well, you know what? I had considered, for the ones I do have a Peggy rating on, I was like, I can print my own inserts and
it's
and
true.
just cover them
Just
up.
put it right in there. That'd be kind of cool.
But I need to find the image without the Peggy logo.
Yeah, people were doing all sorts of crazy stuff with some of that. Like they were making their own custom artwork and stuff.
I love
So
it.
I saw that in the
that.
Facebook group. Yeah.
Because I got my own clamshell cases for NES games and Super NES games, and I printed out my own labels, covers for those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
So-
it's cool stuff. So
I went
and then
ahead
yeah.
I was gonna say real quick. I know I asked Sean on an update for the limited editions, and I guess maybe other people asked, so he linked it to me. But they'll apparently they'll know something in a week. They're still working something out, and
Yeah. They're doing they're doing all the preliminary stuff with making the new LEs, in the production. They spun them up immediately, and I think they're just waiting on. It's in the Discord thing up above. That there was something that they were waiting on, 1 or 2 other.
I'm sure it's probably going
things
to take
come
about
together.
at least a month.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Gotta take
at least
at least a month
just for
for them to redo
just
it.
for manufacturing, and then of course logistics to get it.
Yeah, getting them flied out. So I definitely think we'll get our limited editions in mid to end of January, maybe.
Mm.
I'm thinking.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I mean, I'm a pretty positive guy, and I like I always like to see the the bright side of a bad situation. But this one I'm cautiously optimistic as far as like when we might receive them. I'm thinking, if there's some kind of thing that if they can't get them absolutely produced by the end of the day, like of the end of this month, if they can't get them actually produced by the end of this month, you might run into the line where they start closing, right? Because if this stuff is being produced in China, they go on holiday, right? And if you can't get them all done by the time they get there, then now you're waiting a whole month for them to like spin them all up again. You know what I mean? So,
it's probably not as easy because they refactored the white line, right?
Right.
The white AXP line. So they probably got to say, all right, now we need to have you to manufacture the black cases because they didn't expect to run those again, right?
Exactly.
So that's all takes time. So I'm thinking, I'm not even thinking about when I'm going to get mine because I'm one of the few people got a white one anyway. Yeah. Eventually I'll get it when Canada Post decides to deliver it.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, right? It's all the logistics after the fact too, right?
Yeah,
January exactly. So
be good.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, to be honest with you, I still have my VS and my OG handheld, so I'm fine. I've got lots of stuff I got stuff to play my games on. And Irem and Teoplan should be here on Monday. My EXP should be here Tuesday. So
very cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Wait. So that means you're gonna get 2 IREMs?
Yeah, because I keep one sealed.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one day when I retire, I'll sell it for all the monies in the world, right?
Nice. Yeah, I only have.
It's a retirement plan.
I only
have
retirement
plan. I sell all my Evercade stuff.
I only have 2 sealed cartridges, and that was I got the two Namcos after they announced the discontinuation of that cart.
I should probably stop supporting them so much. They probably got so much money now they don't need any.
But
so I jokingly say like if you could still send them into stuff to WATA to be graded for free, like I have my Interplay.
Gross! Don't do that. Don't support that terrible organization, Ed.
No, let me finish because I have the Interplay collection still sealed for when I got the premium pack replaced. If I could send it to one of those places for free, it would be like a joke. Like
it'd be an awesome joke. They would have to pay me to do anything with those. That company is in cahoots with the auction company. Oh my god!
I've heard about that. But the thing is, the second they take it, they grade it, and they seal it. To me, that game becomes worthless because you can never play it again.
Play it.
Yeah, that's why I said it would be a joke. Like, what would they give it for a rating? Would they rate it 100 because it's brand new? You know what I mean? Like, how would they?
Who are you waving to?
Oh, all the other people that we missed.
Okay.
So,
OEB Pete is officially dead. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're not wrong, but if you join my membership, there might be an OEB Pete treasure around.
That's awesome.
There you go.
See,
he didn't die. OEB Pete's still the name of my guy on every game I play, and my Steam Deck is called OEB Pete.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's always hanging around.
He's always there. But yeah, sealed. Yeah, I gotta have a retirement plan. Ryan told me that my stuff will be worth millions of dollars when I retire.
Oh, you did, huh?
No correction. He said pounds.
To him.
Can't do that.
To him.
Yeah.
Seriously, man, their Discord's so boring. It's so boring. It's like, Ed, shake it up. Ask a crazy question.
Oh, in the Q&A?
Our Q&A is so much more exciting than theirs.
I mean, sometimes actually we get pretty crazy.
If you're talking about, if we're live, I mean, we're on stream. We can see us. I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So
some of us.
Speaking of shaking it up here, I've been summoned real quick.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Plays the only one I can tolerate. Because Macho Man.
It's good times. I actually saw a Macho Man video.
Did Rich just drop his tagline? Good times.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why it's his tagline.
Secretly, the reason why the show is called
subliminal little messages from Bacon Ice Cream Production. Good times.
Not even a lie.
Though I must say, he gave up on Golden Axe Warrior. I haven't seen a video on that one.
I did not. That is not that is not a thing.
I'm just saying, I haven't seen video.
The people here on the channel did take over the channel, and I was like, I asked them, hey, what do you guys want? You want some more Evercade? You want me to finish Golden Axe? What do you want to do? It's 60% just came in and smacked me in the face and just give me more Evercade. I'm like, you asked, you received.
Well, you think Evercade should go put a Master System collection on, because all those games are owned by they're all owned by Sega, like all those Master System games, right?
100%. Like a ton of the library is all Sega games.
I think 98 Crow, you probably know this because you know things. Isn't it like 95% of all Master Systems games licensed and published and owned by Sega, right? They created them all.
It seems that way. It certainly does seem that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are a couple I could think of, like Ghostbusters, I think was Activision. But
there's not many, right?
That's a fact I would believe, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that was part of their downfall with it, because they couldn't keep up with Nintendo with the third party.
Yeah, they didn't. They had such a closed licensing loop, right? Like they controlled the development of all their games. Sean, who invited him?
Yeah, but no, you're right, Pete. They need to do that, because I think like the majority of people, like there is a market for like a Sega Mini, but there's more of a market. There's more of a market for the Genesis than the Master System, because I think a lot of people aren't going to look as fondly on the 8-bit graphics, versus like Evercade is the niche for that.
Yeah,
like we need Master System collections.
Well, Master System games are so good looking, and on average are better looking than NES games.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I love Master System. Rich really got me back into Master System games because he was actively collecting, and I got into it, and I scored some good deals. Not as good as his Golden Axe Warrior deal. He got a much better deal on that one than I did.
I mean,
I didn't get my manual.
I honestly think that was just like,
I don't know how you got that so cheap.
Somebody was thinking about me, either that or maybe the seller knew about, like, because I was in the Master System community pretty good by then. Yeah. And maybe they were just like a collector. They're just like, I'm just going to throw this out and see if he grabs. And then I did. And then
it was awesome.
Unbelievable. That deal was unbelievable.
Yeah, it would be so awesome. We've been saying that forever. Activision collection for the 2600, Master System collection. I think if they're going to focus on console, like if they only do a couple console collections in 23, that would be really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. And I think it would fit, because it's like almost time to kind of like slide that kind of thing into there. And then in the chat, they were talking in the Q&A, they were talking TurboGrafx 16, because it's on Ryan's list for forever, and that would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's another system that I never collected, I never really got into, so we need to get that for
games. 2 reasons: Alien Crush and Devil's Crush.
Yeah, and you know what's good about that? They could market the same thing they did with Renovation Collection. Buy it on Evercade and save yourself $2,000, because TurboGrafx games are so expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
So they could use that marketing and grab some bunk. Like, who doesn't want to play bunk? Bunk games were awesome, and
and actually, it's funny is on the when the Wii was out and they had that eShop. Bonk's Adventure was like one of the first games I bought on that.
Yeah, I love that game. All the Bonk's games were pretty dope. Like, I mean, they're obviously Bonk was 3rd ranked against Mario and Sonic, right?
And you know what? That's why I'm still mad that Bonk isn't in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, but I think Bonk looked better than Sonic and Mario in a lot of ways. Graphically, there was some really cool stuff going on in the Bonk games.
Yeah.
So I have a theory about kind of a theory about why they put their computer collection to be separate. So here's what I kind of predict. Since they've gotten Capcom and they got the attention of the mainstream, I hope they stay on that bandwagon and they get like the Segas, or they get TurboGrafx. I think the Green Collection, I think that is going to be your kind of like oddball, where they're going to have like Gremlin, they're going to have those weird computer collections that people, that people won't feel pressured to buy to be part of the Red Collection, that they can pass it. I hope they do that. Like, if you're going to put out stinkers, put it on the Green line. I hate to say that, but
somebody just asked about the Amiga collection. I agree with you, Ed. Except for the stinker part, because somebody's stinker is somebody's gem, right? It's all subjective.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
right.
Yeah.
But the question about Amiga came up, and if I could tell Ryan and give them its advice seriously now, because I've trolled them so much over the last 3 years, but for the love of God, when you put the Amiga collection on, don't put Sega Genesis games, just the Amiga version of Genesis games. Do other ones, because a lot of times they're similar. They're so similar graphically. Like I don't want that. Give us different Amiga games.
But they may look the same, but from what I understand, they play way better.
I know, but I just feel they got an opportunity with a library of like a couple thousand games to choose some really cool games that never came to console.
Pinball Fantasies needs to be on that.
I'd play that.
I don't mind if they do what they did with the arcades, like how we've got, like if they put like a couple, like if they put like 2 or 3 games, like in a 14-game cart, of the that are the original versions, like I'm fine with that. But yeah, I don't want like an Amiga collection that's like all like the Amiga versions of all the Genesis games. That's what I mean. Like I want the grid line to be more experimental, because while I do know that like some people, like there are some people who do enjoy like Gremlins, and I know like Crow, you like Worms, but now that they've gotten the attention of the mainstream, they need to balance that carefully.
Yeah.
That's all that I'm
mainstream, obscure, and then go hardcore fans for some collections. Hey, there's a great question, Jason Shears. I'd like to know too, in general, how many Evercades complete have sold worldwide. I'm thinking it's got to be 100,000 units of VS and original.
I mean, I would agree.
Like going back to the OG, yeah, that's probably fair.
About 100K, maybe like plus or minus 20,000 on each, maybe.
Yeah, well, and you think of how well the LEs sold out of both of those, and how quickly they did. Like that's $5,000 of the hardcore fans that are doing that. Plus, like at the launch of both the VS and now the EXP. I mean, they're hitting all sorts of different retailers and moving product. Funstock went out for a day or two of the standard edition. Their bundles went out of stock, and then they got them back in. So it's possible, that they're selling a sizable number. I mean, they're a small company, so there's no reason for them to actually put out what their numbers are. But yes, I would want to know. I'm curious.
Yeah, same here. Like people love to know numbers of consoles sold. That's just the gaming industry of like who we are, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's always a race, right?
We just like knowing that our console we chose to collect is doing well, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's evidenced by the fact that they're able to cycle all of the new hardware that they've been doing in the last 3 years, plus keep consistent collections coming out as well. Like that's a sign of a healthy team. And earlier this morning, Sean was in there saying, hey, if you want to know what a small team looks like, our team is sub 10 employees. Like, how crazy is that? All of Blaze Entertainment is sub 10 people running this thing. What does this mean? That's pretty nuts.
Why would Activision block their own deal? Of course they blocked their own deal. They own their dicks.
Right?
Well, I mean, you all those big giant companies. I mean, when they look at stuff, it's like, hey, we're going to sell 1 million units. No, okay, well, leave us alone.
Yeah, it's not the fact that they would make money; it's the fact that they would make enough money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
that's exactly what I was going to say. It's greed. It's greed and capitalism, and that really upsets. It's like they're going to, and that's why I always say they're going to profit. All they have to do is give Blaze the license, give Blaze the ROMs, and they'll do all the heavy lifting. They'll print the manual. I don't understand why they wouldn't want to. In Evercade, it's not as big as Nintendo Switch or Steam Deck. They don't need to worry about that. This is going to take over, and people aren't going to buy their things on the platforms. Sony and Microsoft aren't going to care. I don't know. Sorry.
The thing is, though, Ed, with any major company like that, they have to have a representative on their side that babysits this deal. And that person's time probably is more valuable than the amount of profit they'll get from 10,000 units sold. And that's why they make those decisions. That's exactly it. Because somebody on Activision or EA or Square or Sega has to babysit the deal. And if they're getting paid, $50,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, their time, and they're only getting a profit of that back in from the cart, they're probably saying it's not worth our time, and we're going to lose money because this person could be doing something else.
That's true, but couldn't they have an intern do it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what you want doing. Your intern running.
I don't think they trust an unpaid intern to do.
But that's how they look at it, right? And they're publicly traded companies too, right? So they're like, some dude will ask in a shareholders meeting, it's like, why are you worried about that? Go on Switch. Bring your stuff to Switch, not to this one, right? That's how I look at that stuff.
So
I agree, they should just like release. If they're not going to do something, they should have a time limit on their ownership of an IP. If you don't do anything in that IP for X amount of years, you lose the right to do anything on it.
There is that.
Well,
but
here's what irritates me.
Circumventing.
It's like, well, but the thing is, something like an Activision collection, I don't see that coming out on Switch or Steam. I don't see that coming out on any other platform. So why just give give it to Blaze then?
I have an Activision collection on PlayStation 2, so it is a possibility.
I mean, like modern. I'm talking. Yeah, but they're not making money off of that. I'm talking about like something modern, like
Well, they did at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, actually, to clarify, we were talking, since we're on the subject of Activision and how that went down. I actually just found the comment from Andrew in the Q&A, and I mean that actually isn't necessarily what they said at all. Someone asked about the confirmation of the Activision 2600 being confirmed, and Andrew said no, it's not confirmed, but it's a long story which involves me having a contract with them ready to sign, and then someone at Activision stopped the deal because of another commercial arrangement. So maybe that's, maybe that whatever commercial arrangement, was another deal for those games to come out on a different product at a certain time. So you never know, like time goes by, that product is sold, it's the end of that thing. They can revisit that, you know what I mean? So plus, I mean, anything that involves Activision right now, I'm sure there's a lot of people running around with heads on fire at Activision right now. So
blame Sony and the British government for that.
Well, and even the FTC.
Well,
yeah, they're out of their mind.
Everyone's having a hand at this, so it's great.
The FTC, the guy that represented the FTC in the suing of Microsoft like 20-something years ago because of Windows, he left FTC anyway, but he reviewed the case that the FTC is bringing against Microsoft now against the Activision deal, and he said they're nuts. They're crazy to want to bring that deal. They have no evidence. They'll get laughed out of court.
It's I
don't know. It's Sony, man.
All of this stuff is crazy. I mean, and again, yeah, okay. I know that in competition and all that kind of stuff, you've got some troubles, with Activision being so large and having so many IPs that sell regularly well. Right now, it's like some people from the outside can look at it and see both sides, right? They can see, oh, this is a fine deal. Why is everyone worried about this? And then the other side is like, oh, well, maybe it's not necessarily a fair deal for the global audience, right? But but in the end, none of these IPs are going to last forever. How many times are you going to go to that well and have a successful product over and over and over again? They've been really lucky. Activision has with Call of Duty right now, because that's really what the arguments have been centering around, right? But you can literally only go to that well so many times before you go out and go, oh, there's no more water in there. And then
the problem. I kind of basically I kind of feel like you have like some musicians, you have like some musicians that people want to see them tour, but they won't get back together again. Like I kind of see like this is like, here's a license to print money. Like Nintendo is the worst when it comes out. Here you have all this old content, all these old IPs that are done. Why wouldn't you want to make money? And when it comes down to, I just feel like modern they don't understand retro games. They don't have respect for retro games and the classic games, and they don't get that there's still a big market for it right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's a reason why why modern like indie games are very popular. You know what I mean? It's like it's just they should just tap. You don't have to spend millions of dollars to make like a Call of Duty that quite frankly isn't even that great of a franchise in my opinion. But anyways, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, Call of Duty for me died on the PS3. What is it? Modern Combat 2 is the epitome of greatness. Yeah, it's Final Fantasy. Yeah, whatever. But somebody asked a question. Really buzzing to see what's coming on Evercade in 2023. Jason did, Shires.
Yep.
And they've said at least 13 collections. Yep. I think we're going to see 24 collections, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean,
I would do it. Two releases every month.
I think so. Why not? Or 3 a month?
I don't know about that. It seems like unless they're really picking up the number they're going to output.
Well, if they're not going to do new hardware in 2023, they need to make up their money somewhere, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, 24.
I think people make money on software over hardware, so I'd be going ka-ching.
I'd have to totally build by next year. Even another shot.
Sean goes, I didn't need to talk to you to pick the video in the high blood pressure of gaming.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's you deserve all that. You deserve all that because you ghosted me on Twitter, so screw you, Sean.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, we might see 15 because again, it's like Evercade is a product where it's physical media and it's quality over quantity, and you know. And we've talked. If they come out with 2 carts and it cheapens it, and then it becomes too overwhelming, and then it comes back to the point of like curation, and then at that point, then it's like if it's too overwhelming, and then you have the same effect as like emulation and curating ROMs, and they got to be it gets too expensive, right?
Yeah.
Also,
I'm almost 50 and a father of 2. Nothing can overwhelm me in the video game sphere. So,
but
so I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah. But think about this though. Think about that whole thing we were just talking about, the small team, right? Sub 10 people, in 24 carts, getting, contracts signed, assets ready, curating the ROMs, making sure they're tested, making sure everything will work. I mean, who knows? If it can be done, great. If not, then I'd rather them take the time to make sure that all those games were curated and working well, and they have enough time to actually promote them. So it's not just a shotgun, right?
Exactly.
The collections will get buried by then.
Yeah.
You'll start to get into not that we're ever going to get close to Steam store or Nintendo Switch store, levels of craziness, but something could get forgotten, and then you never know. Like a publisher could be like, I felt a little weird about that, because I didn't get the spotlight.
Exactly. So I'm gonna say this: bad things happen when companies like this get too big, and there's proof of this in history. Look at Atari, what it first was, which is probably and then look what it grew, and then look what it is today. Like we don't want that to happen to Evercade. Like Evercade or Blaze right now, it's a good size. I think they're doing the right thing. They're putting out the right amount of content. For me personally, I don't want that to change. Like they're good. Yeah. It's a niche market. This isn't for everybody, and I think they know that.
Yeah, but then you also have to think about poor Crow. What would he do? He put out 24 carts in a year.
I think their timeline might get reduced. Maybe they put out 6 carts because they realize it's too much content.
If that got to be the case, I'd be like, well, I just never catch up. I actually slow down a bit and take even longer, take even more time on this collection.
I just want a wireless controller. If they do anything this in 23, it's just give me a wireless controller. That's all I want. An actual official brand one. But yeah, I think 2023 they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. And it was funny because I did my prediction video and I said, what if they get bought in 2023?
I'd play it. Just saying. Sorry.
Hey, Evercade, are you guys for sale?
ET on Evercade. I got one for you.
Maybe I'll buy Evercade.
Maybe you'll buy Evercade.
Yeah.
You just buy the company? All right.
Yeah, I'll buy Blaze. Yeah, so 2023 is going to be fun. To be honest with you, it's like
that box thing
I think a lot gets said about the curations of the collection.
Oh, nice. Yes.
ET phone home.
Yeah. Is that for the 800?
Yeah, for the 8-bit Atari, yeah.
Nice.
But awesome. Everybody brings up the curation of the collections, but it's funny. It's like people got memory is so short within Evercade community. It's like, oh, we want only 12 collections, want them curated. And then every time a collection drops, 50% of people complain about the curation of the collection. I think it's less important than you think and everybody thinks because it's so subjective. It's so subjective what gets on that cart. As long as they don't put stinkers on there, but Ed's the first one to call out. Ed says there's stinkers on every cart. And, as long as they stay away from, how do you judge that? So I think curation is a pile of phooey in my book. Somebody's got to choose the games to go on there. They can't make everybody happy.
That's true, but I mean, I don't know. As far as me goes, as far as the exploration aspect, because a lot of these collections, have games on them that I saw in the store and I was like, oh yeah, I might want to play that game one day, and then just never happens, right? Mm-hmm. So getting to experience them for the first time in these collections, oh man, this was actually a pretty cool game that I probably should have picked up back in the day. For most of them. So whoever is doing those jobs and picking the games to go on the collections, they are, at least for me, doing a good job in saying oh, well, at least somebody out there is going to like most of them. And yeah, I mean, not
well, they don't get to choose them all either, right? It's not like Blaze goes and says, we want these 12 games, Capcom. No, right. Capcom
they'll
says,
say, like,
you get to choose between these 5, and we're giving you these. Like, they don't get to choose every game that goes on their collection. If they do, I'd be shocked. And I think they're lying if they say they do that.
Well, you know, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, they'll say, we'll give you this, and they're like, oh, but we really want a Mega Man. Well, we can't give you Mega Man 6, but we can give you,
Yeah, exactly. It's a negotiation, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so here's kind of the thing, though, with that. I think, though, sometimes some collections, like, I think what they should do, if they have a deal where there's too many games, especially some that are kind of meh, save those to be the hidden games. Because I know this is going to sound weird, but I think some games, if you were to take off some of the games, even though it would be less, it would look like a stronger collection, like the Morph Cat collection. I love that. Like, that has 3, that's an overpolluted. Those are indie games, and I think that's a good balance. I'll always say less is more. Like, but I think we can all agree, like, with the Commodore 64 collection, that, like, we wouldn't necessarily have picked all those games. I would have rather seen half amount of the games, but more of them be Bruce Lee. That's all,
Well, wait a minute.
That's all I'm saying.
With the C64, I have no clue because I didn't know the console, so I'm like, I wouldn't know what to pick.
If there's a game you don't like, you'd rather not see it in a collection and have it replaced by nothing?
That's because it's...
to me, a game I don't like is still worth more than no game at all.
And I'll tell you my logic behind that, because it's kind of like, let's say if you're going to go the route and you throw emulation on a device and you put a bunch of ROMs, sometimes you have all these other, like, games that aren't as good kind of getting in the way, kind of like cluttering it up. And when you're presented with a limited number of games, then you're like, I could, it makes it easier to sort and to curate.
I played 12 out of the 14 games on the C64 collection. There's only one I didn't like.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this with the collections and curations. For $20 or $25 Canadian, if I can find one game on each collection that I put a couple hours into it, my entertainment proposition's been paid for. So I found that in every collection except for Worms. Worms is the only collection I've not found any entertainment value in for myself. But everything else, I found multiple games I like. C64, there's multiple games I like on it. Every collection, Gremlin, the whole works. But that Worms one's the only downer for me. But you know what? It's such an offer for everyone else.
The Worms one, is got like either the second or third best game on the Evercade period for me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm just saying. It's like, you guys will never be happy with curation. I think a lot of times too much pressure on the curation. Is just, if you don't like the collection and you don't think there's anything there, don't buy it.
That's true. Unless you want to collect it.
Get rid of the numbers, because you'll drive Ed nuts. Because Ed is going to want all the numbers. Get rid of the numbers on there, and you'll be better for it.
Well, but they did that on purpose.
You mean on the cards?
No more numbering on the cards.
But here's the thing. It's not about not buying the collection. Here's what it is. Let's say you have like 12 slots in the whole year, and this is how I look at it. And I like the diversity. Like, it's a slot machine, right? Like, sometimes you get a mix of good games. You get I want that. What I don't like, for me, here's what I don't want. Like, for me, something like the Gremlin collection, that I played that once, and even like in television too, because of the controls weren't translated. For me, if you can't have a game that's plug and play, that's fun out of the box, then just don't put out that cart. That's because for me, it takes up a slot.
Like, I'll disagree with that, because there's been plenty of games where they're not pick up and play, but when I learned to play them, they're fun, and I definitely go back to them.
So, like, Gremlin's collection, probably not the strongest for most people, but I probably put at least 8 hours in Actua Soccer. I love that game. I love Actua Soccer. It's a great game, and that's when I want my soccer fix. I go play Actua Soccer. Yeah,
Actua Soccer is pretty cool. I mean,
it's fun.
I'm not a huge fan of soccer games. There's two in this past year that I've enjoyed enough to go back and play again. Actua Soccer is one, and Pixel Cup is the other.
Yeah, that's a game. Hey, Sean, Ryan, Andrew, I know you're listening, because you cannot not listen to us. Go get Pixel Cup Soccer.
Yes.
Put that on there, okay? And get the international version with Canada in it, because that game will run, and it's freaking amazing. And it's an awesome game, and you can tell that they love sensible soccer. The people,
and then see if you could somehow get Super Blood Hockey on there too.
Yeah, Super Blood Hockey would be good, because I like disposing of my bodies in the back of the ring.
We're making Indie Heroes 3 happen.
So that's what I'm talking about.
No, but I'm serious. Fixed Cup Soccer, right, Rich? Amazing game.
Oh, no, it's absolutely phenomenal.
But it's on the VCS. It's trapped on the VCS.
Games. Like, I just don't like them, but I will play that over and over again.
It's so much fun. It's so fast and graphically. There's so much cool stuff going on.
Yeah, it's awesome.
See,
Man, I gotta go back
that's what I'm talking about. Don't put out like an outdated sports game that maybe was good for its time. Put out something like Blood. Put out something new and fresh like that. You know what I mean? That's an indie. That's what they need to. That's what they need to tap into, because
I would say that. What about Tecmo Bowl? If they put Tecmo Bowl on there, that's outdated.
I'd be down with Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
No, it's Super Tecmo Bowl.
And Super, but put both of them on there. Why not?
So I'll tell you my logic of thought, and kind of here's my like for me when I get Evercade, like it's an experience, right? And when I see something from the beginning, like Pico has set the standard, Renovation Collection that blows it out.
That is quite hot. That's unfair. Renovation Collection. That's like the Indiana Jones statue that you're robbing at the end first of Raiders.
Yeah.
Renovation is just amazing.
But it would be it'd be the same as saying, like, working designs, right? Like if they were ever to get Victor Island out of whatever rock he's hiding under, like those games were also amazing. To get a collection of them. But yeah, you're right. It's in the same category.
But here's where I'm going. So sometimes, and listen, my whole thinking is that when you have these collections that just blow it out of the water, and then I look at something like Gremlins 2, I'm like, how did that? I mean, I kind of look at that just blows my mind. That's all I'm saying.
There are plenty of people that like Gremlins Collection 1. They love it.
I do.
Man, I'm not compared to the others. So for me, it's loves
hardcore 4x4.
I did give it a B. I
like the experience stuff. It's just like if you've ever opened a lump of coal for Christmas, and maybe for me too, like my Renovation Collection was initially bad, so all I was left with was Gremlins. So here's the funny thing: being impatient, and I'll totally admit this. For me, in my day, and as I've gotten older, like for me, it sucks. Like gaming, like isn't as fun, right? And I hate that as I've gotten older, it's been difficult to keep my interest. And Evercade has kept that. And for me, and so for me, that's a twofold. I don't like AAA games where you have to have your handheld and go through a whole tutorial. For me, I want to jump in and just play. Like I'm used to that. And for me, whether it's a new game or an old game, if I have to spend time and research it just to play a game, then it feels like actual work and it's not fun. And the reason I bring that up, like even RPGs that I've played, I haven't had to do that type of research.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying. So it's cool for people that want that, but for me, I need to be able to jump in. I need that instant gratification when it comes to gaming, right? Kind of like watching a TV show, because that's like how you unwind.
That's where you're getting the mix of things. I mean, you have some games you can jump in and play, and some where you have to learn how to play them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But here's the weird part. I don't want Blaze to change because I like the mix. I'm just going to be hypercritical if I don't like a collection. I'm going to speak.
That'd be a great question to ask. Hypothetical question: if you were in charge of Blaze, what would you do? What would you do with the company if you're in charge of Blaze? I got an idea of some staffing changes I'd make.
No. Pete's ready to just fire people.
Sean? I'm coming for you, bro.
Oh my God.
I wish that we could sometime get Sean on. Listen, I know there's NDAs and all that for licensing. I just wish at a high level he could kind of explain, like, hey, we go to this company. They
I love Andrew. I am Andrew Byatt, and I am the president of Blaze from that movie, American President.
But would you guys be interested to know, like, if they could give a high level overview of the licensing process? Like, I would just be curious. Like, do they seek out a company? Are they given? It's like hey, here's what you're given. What's is there any wiggle room? Does it sometimes? I wish they could just kind of give a high level overview without naming any name. Be very generic. That would be cool.
I think Andrew's done that in like an interview.
The best comment ever. Put up Lee's comment.
Oh.
What?
We all do, actually. We all have that. As gamers, we all suffer from that.
That is true. This is like being a gamer 101.
We all suffer from that.
Well, so here's...
Hey, I'm looking for a new job. Siren's on my end of the cat game, so if Blaze wants to hire me, I'm actually looking for a new job.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. No, I mean...
Start the Canadian.
It just kind of goes back to what is Blaze.
Blaze officially not associated with Blaze Entertainment. They would not be able to take me. I would drive them nuts. I'm too business focused. I'm all about profit.
And congrats, you're on your own there, Ballistic, on the
Andrew goes, just send me your CV. First of all, I don't know what a CV is, Second
That's
of all,
a resume. It's a CV is a resume.
Second of all, watch my channel. I'm joking.
Jeez. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. Anyway, this got off the rails.
Going to be on the... Yeah. No,
oh God, Ed needs polls. Ed, stop playing with your polls.
What if my hands aren't hot? My hands are actually pretty cold right now.
Ed's always got his polls going.
This is off the rails.
Hey, we should all go to Ed's channel and just troll his poll. Oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah, you have an option for my hands aren't small, but not an option for my hands aren't hot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I was just curious if people. So 75% of us know they don't have it. 6% VS for life. Yes. But
sorry,
yeah,
Ed,
that was just. I always like to throw in a VS answer.
How come there's not happily no?
So, like happily no. Yeah. No. So I actually voted no in that poll because I didn't have it yet.
So I think I voted no too. I love going to Ed's polls.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
My polls.
It's really cool. You know, like getting community input.
Yeah. Well, it's you could if you could do more than 4, I'd put that, and then who's this guy?
Wait a minute, wait. You posted that poll 4 days ago. Was it out 4 days ago?
Yeah.
It was release day.
Was it really?
And the 13th?
Well, I mean, if you put it on the night of the 13th, I guess.
I thought it was the 15th that was released.
It was
officially.
On the 15th.
People were starting to get them.
You know what?
People were starting to get them. So
yeah, that's true.
And then you get to see the scene. I always like to be fun.
Where's the next poll?
And then I was just curious to ask people, how are you spending time, their holiday break, going places, chilling at home? I like how somebody said, I get time off, just hiding in the corner gaming. I don't know.
I voted for I get time off because I only get 2 days in the holiday breaks. I get the Monday after the Christmas holiday and the Monday after whatchamacallit, New Year's.
Ever since I've been working from home, it feels like I'm on holiday break even when I'm working.
So here's the great thing about this discussion, that it has gone off the rails, and I'll tell you why. I think it's great that there's certain collections I don't like, there's certain collections that everyone else likes, but here's the difference though that I'll say compared to our little universe compared to other people. I'll never say, "Oh, you're dumb for liking this collection," or we'll never have that elitist attitude. You know what I mean? That's the thing, is we're respectful that just because there's a collection I don't like, if you like it, go play it. I won't think of any less of anybody. It doesn't make you a better or lesser person for liking or other game. That's what's great. I think, we don't want that Call of Duty where everyone just plays it and drinks the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? I think that's the great.
Wait, Call of Duty has Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid's so
why are we bringing Jonestown into this?
Oh, you said it.
Wow, you went way back in time.
Nice.
Well, that's what the drink the Kool-Aid comes from.
Yeah. That's
I don't think anyone has a collection out there that isn't at least one game they don't like. I told you, dude. You see, he doesn't even listen to me. He even ghosts me on my own show. Dude, I don't like Worms. Worms suck.
Yeah, Pete really doesn't like Worms.
There's not a game on there I like. But yeah, thanks for listening, Sean.
Being a Sean today.
Feisty Pete. But
I know, right?
So yeah, I mean, I got this thing in my hand here, this little guy.
Yes.
So anyone want to toss some questions my way, and we'll chat about that for a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Is it everything you expect? Let's put them on the big screen.
Yeah.
So let me.
Can it make toast? Sorry.
Let me turn the thing on.
Ooh, yeah, now I'm hungry for toast.
Turn this thing on there. We get a.
Well, fortunately, if you have bread, you can make toast.
Can we get the?
No, you're wrong camera. You're wrong camera.
I can't see it.
No, I got it. I'm just holding it to the microphone. It's booting up.
But you understand this is a visual medium.
There we go.
No, thank you, Sean.
Do it.
I don't want anything of your worm.
Send him a framed Worms and send me a framed Gremlins.
We got IRM in here.
Put it behind.
Yeah, I'm actually digging. I don't know if you can see it, but
God,
you can see that the contour of the machine.
Oh, it's got a kind of
it's got a actual texture. Yeah,
so RMTV TV is asking, good. What does it smell like?
I can't. I'm the worst person to ask that question because I lost my sense of smell 2 years ago, and it never came
Tell you
back.
what, if I do an unboxing,
What does it
I'll
taste
tell
like?
everybody what it smells like.
Fake. Wait, you can't like food must be awful for you then.
No, actually, I can taste. But so everything in here, nothing comes in. I guess it like gets filtered and just smells like bacon. I wish. So, but yeah, no, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing not being able to detect things other than if my mouth is open, like I can detect like smell through there in the back of my throat. It's weird. It's very strange.
That is weird.
So,
Here's a legit question. How is
Tate mode?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me go into the EXP menu.
You know what I think is great? The Tate mode works when you connect it to like a TV. Because I think initially somewhere in Discord, Ryan, or someone said that it wouldn't be. Someone said it wouldn't be supported. So I think that's great that it.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, you kind of I mean, that's something that could even be added to the VS.
Yeah, they need to add that to the VS.
So it is literally that easy. It is just the T button, as we've seen before. Now, how is it like holding it in the hand and playing? Let me add some coins. It's pretty good. Like I enjoy the screen experience for sure. Like being able to just play and have that full screen real estate, because it's really small. Like really small when you go out of Tate mode.
So I want to know, are you going to check some bezels?
So
Tate mode.
What's up?
Are you going to check some bezels?
Oh, check some bezels? Yeah. We can do that. I did notice that in the menu when I was doing the overview. That was pretty cool. I can't believe I haven't died yet. I'm like half looking at the chat and
what I'm dying to compare it to, and you might have to do more testing, is I want to compare that D-pad to the original OG D-pad, to the purple D-pad, to the VS D-pad, and see which one is like the superior.
I don't know. Like I really like this D-pad. It is 100% different though. It's flatter than the original D-pad. Like there's actually, let's see if I can actually. All right, let me get out.
Yeah.
Let me bring up the other thing here. Oh.
But that's because I'm amazed for the price point, like how quality of device that looks. I can't wait to get my hands on it though to actually see.
Heck yeah! So the D-pad here, right? So there's the D-pad. You can see that it's raised. You can actually see the raisedness of it. So you put it up against the EXP, and you can tell like the D-pad is actually different because it's like flatter. So it doesn't catch your thumb as much, but it's actually not bad because for fighting games, I'm imagining if you're doing a lot of those circular motions, you're not going to cut up your thumb like you would on the OG.
Do you have a VS controller handy?
A VS controller, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I know you do.
Of course. I mean, these are pretty much identical.
Oh wow! Okay.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're almost the same.
The same.
They feel just as good, but then,
I didn't realize how much like the OG. Okay.
Well, that's the first thing I did is like when I got the controller, I put it up to the original handheld because I was like, hey, this seems very similar to the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's flatter, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it does make a difference though. Like when you're playing, because I was playing Street Fighter yesterday when I was doing the first look, and it really feels different. I mean, not that you can play Street Fighter on the OG, but if you were playing like Fighter's History or whatever and try to do like the standard Hadouken or spinning kick or whatever, all of those moves will feel smoother on this D-pad. So
is it God tier?
Is it God tier? I don't know. I mean, I'm still actually getting used to it because I've been playing now for 2 straight years on a D-pad that felt a certain way. The only thing that I will say though is when I put in Atari 1 because you had to play Asteroids, right? Asteroids on this thing is phenomenal because of the fact that there is like next to no like and there's no ridge, so you can go straight back and forth and turret your way to glory, like on this thing, and it feels great. It feels absolutely great.
See, it looks like it's the best D-pad because with me too, like my gaming habits have changed. Just like, and I've been doing more of my gaming like in handheld mode, hanging out on the couch with the family, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, and yes, like everyone's been saying, like, yes, it's really cool that there's Capcom on here, and yes, it is cool. It was very neat during this whole thing to just be like, oh, I'm gonna play Street Fighter, and not like Fighter's History. I'm playing Street Fighter. You're like, oh, I'm gonna play some Mega Man. Like it's Mega Man on here. Like it's really neat. It's really neat to see this. I haven't dug into anything else. And then of course there's the scary game for me. Like it's like Rich's life is over game.
Yeah.
Like Breath of Fire is, it sounds cool, it looks cool. That was the other thing I had to get used to when I played Street Fighter. I keep forgetting. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm playing Street Fighter on a handheld, and I automatically go to like the SNES version, right? Because that was the one that I played over my friend's house when they had their Super Nintendos, and it was the one that I bought for myself when I finally got a Super Nintendo later on. And it does sound different because obviously it's the arcade version, so like all the soundtracks are just a little bit tinnier, but that's because that's the way it sounded in the arcade. So yeah. What was Jason asking about? Probably
that's what I was going to ask you.
Some other. Oh, it's any chance of Konami is what Jason was asking.
I wouldn't rule that out because they have been putting out collections left and right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, they did say in the Q&A nothing's impossible, and then made a joke about Nintendo being possibly impossible.
Well, there was a time. Think about it this way: there was a time in which people thought it would be impossible for Sega games to be on Nintendo hardware, and that happened.
Yeah.
You just need to do it. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to happen. The very first thing that needs to happen is the box that's off screen up to that right there. The box that's next to the EXP, that's got to get done first, and it will get done. Something else is going to get in the way, and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Atari is actually about to take over the channel for probably the rest of the month because I had a really cool idea and I really want to do it. So. But yes, after Golden X, where I think there's going to be a series where I just go through every RPG on the Evercade and play it.
Ooh.
So just like I did Golden X Warrior, and I'm going to start with probably Canon because I've really been meaning to play that game, and then I'll probably do.
Are you going to play them all to completion?
Yes. Yeah,
really?
From start to finish, I'm going to do like a series where it'll be like once a week, so I won't like just like annihilate my channel by.
You're talking about every game. You're going to finish every game.
I'm going to finish every RPG.
Oh, every RPG.
Every RPG. It's a small number. It's only like 5, but they're like some of them are like 70 hours. So it's gonna be crazy.
I'm gonna bring us back.
Wait till you get to Traja.
Yeah, wait till I get to Traja. Yeah, no, I played some Traja, and I played some of an Exile. I'm like, I'm gonna do it though.
So here's
I finished both games. Exile isn't that bad.
Right.
Traja, you gotta be patient.
So here's an interesting question because we were talking about Konami, like Symphony, the Night would sell all. So here's what I hope Blaze can do, kind of like what they did the Capcom collection. Is I'm glad that like Capcom Stadium 1 or 2 just didn't get ported. It's a good mix. So if they do have like a Castlevania collection, give us some Game Boy versions, give us some Game Boy. You know what I mean? Like have it be a mix. Don't just port over. Or if they do like a Contra, well, that'd be more difficult. But you know what I mean? Like don't just port over the existing collections. Give us something a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I think a mix like this Capcom collection, in the Konami style would be all right. Like Castlevania or 2, or like whatever.
Hey, look who decided to show up.
Hey Ryan, what's up?
Yeah,
what's going on? But speaking of like things that involved Ryan, the Q&A, and the other thing, there was a question here that I wanted to answer. Crimson Cross. How hot does it get after playing for a bit of time? Warm is the answer that I have so far. It is noticeable. Like I don't necessarily notice it when I'm playing a long play session on the OG. You can notice that on the left-hand side of the EXP, your hand will get a little warm. But it's not it's not like it's gonna like, it's not hot, it's not fearful anyway. Because I've had laptops or you're playing something or you're working on something for a while and you touch the bottom of the thing, you think your hand's gonna come off. Not so on the EXP. I will also say something. Speaking of warmness and charging, it is possible to charge this device while it's in its like sleep state. But if you have it plugged into the charger, the light on the bottom, the indicator light, will remain red because technically the machine is on. So I wound up charging the thing pretty much all night last night and then unplugged it because I was like, oh, it's still red, but it has to be charged. And then I hit a button and I realized it was still on. So like it will charge to full, but it won't tell you that it's full because it's still plugged in and on. So if you have it in sleep mode, like this is in sleep mode, then
hey, real quick, and I
yeah.
And I apologize to Ryan for missing this because I did get he gave me a better answer than Sean did. That's what I was kind of looking for when I asked, do they have a date? He said that they don't at the moment. They're at least 3 weeks into production. It's truly motion. He said it'll be early 2003, and that's kind of what I wanted to know. That they're already 3 weeks into it, and that's that.
Yeah.
I know they can't say definitely by this date, but for me though, I hope it's like within the first month of next year, not like 3 months, or I'll be sad panda.
Yeah, for sure.
So I didn't mean to derail it, but I saw something like flew by so fast.
Nobody's mentioned this.
Yeah, it looks like we have a game of the month happening right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually. I was super busy at work, so I crammed the first look video for the EXP, and like I saw the thing come out. We're like, oh yeah, you can update your VS, and I'm like, I just don't. I'm gonna do that later. so yeah, I will have to do that. It looks pretty cool though.
If I had my XP, I wouldn't even care about. But yeah, no, that's going to be my video for Monday because I'm like, well, I need to find something else to cover that I haven't really talked about. No, this is neat.
Gelatinous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is so weird. I love this.
so I guess the other thing, well, and this might be a thing for Ryan, I don't know, but like when you're in, so it's blinking because it's telling me that I'm in sleep mode, right? I got the purple light going on. If you have this plugged in and charging, even if it goes into sleep, it won't tell you that it's in standby. So there's no blink. There's no notification to let you know that it is on, other than the fact that the red light just doesn't go off, which is the reason why I had that weird thing doing the charge thing. So
I know, Sean. I know. But I get to, but at least I get to tease you all. I know you probably don't. Believe me, I can't imagine y'all are like running around like chickens with your head cut off, and it's crazy. But no, I know you guys will tell us the second when it ships out and you're doing everything. And I know. I'm just excited. I'm just excited to get mine. Oh, speaking of which, how long does it take to charge that?
So the adequate answer is I'm not sure, because of the fact that I kept looking at the indicator and seeing that the red light was still on. So I think it's probably within 2 hours for a full charge. But I don't know because I plugged it in immediately after opening it on that first look, and I never unplugged it until this morning. So because I was worried that the indicator was like, oh well, it's not telling me that it's fully charged, so I guess I got to leave it on, but not knowing that it was actually physically on. In the standby mode. So
one of the first things I want to test, because that was kind of one of my main complaints when the original, like having it take like 5 hours to charge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this
2 hours
should
would be
charge
realistic
faster because it is USB-C. Yeah. So
I just saw a dumb comment in Facebook, and because somebody posted in Facebook, it has to be true. They said it still takes a long time to charge. Like, what does that even mean? A long time?
Yeah. So we'll find out, because now that it's fully charged, I'm gonna work this thing all day long and try to get this battery done for, and then I'll do a full charge.
And one thing too, and you can tell me if you've checked it, but I know with the original OG, they said like don't leave it plugged in more than 12 hours, and it was mini, micro USB. I wonder now, since this USB-C, after it reaches full charge, does it turn off? You know what I mean? Like how like most modern devices, you can just leave them plugged in.
So again, that's another thing I don't know, but the indicator light tells me that I don't know. Like the indicator light said that it was charging for the entire time. So I don't like, did it shut off? Did it know that it got to 100% and do it? Like, is it trickle charging? Like unknown. But beware though, when you have your EXP, if you're gonna charge, make sure you turn it all the way off so you can get your adequate indicators. Oh, apparently yes, it will stop charging.
That is fantastic. Because I mean, because most modern phone devices do that's fantastic.
Yeah, and if it's on, it's powered up, so it's drawing power. Yeah, so.
But that is maybe that's something. I wonder if they can fix that in the purple, because that's kind of mislead. Like you know, how do you know if it's fully charged?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way in the firmware just to kind of say like, hey, you're in standby and you're fully charged, so maybe it blinks a different thing or something.
Almost like topping off a full drink. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's what I was hoping. We would get all those cool things that USB-C, and the reason why we had that other functionality, because we were at the mercy of the micro mini USB. So that's all.
It is cool though that it is an LED that can give you different colored indicators, which is neat.
I like that. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool. And all of the other things that people have been saying about it, like feel and weight and all that, they're all true. That this thing does feel heavier than the OG, but not by much, but enough to like make it feel like, oh, this is actually there's something substantial in here. It doesn't feel as plasticky or I don't know, maybe first gen, I guess, as the OG handheld. Even though I really like the way it feels in the hand. I do miss the like whatever the notch, because it's like I would put my pinkies there to hold it. So I kind of miss that a little, but not much. There's always another place you could put your hands or your fingers or whatever. But the added length doesn't really bug me at all, as far as like going from one to the other. It feels solid. I will enjoy the remap ability for fighting games, because when that comes out, the L2R2, that's perfect for your high kick high punch in a fighting game. That's awesome. It feels a little bit more awkward to roll up to do the L1R1, but it's kind of the nature of the beast. It feels the same to me on the Switch, doing it on the Joy-Con. So
that's awesome. Well, Ryan said there'll be a fix for a bunch of quirks. I wonder if that'll include the remapping or not.
Yeah, I mean, well, they said it was quarter one, so should be pretty good stuff. Oh, and yeah, you never know.
The other thing too, I can't wait to test. I'm assuming that hopefully the battery readout will be more accurate and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty awesome that somebody completed Mercs already in Tate.
Oh man,
that's neat. And then somebody also was saying too, there was a couple of videos out there that were saying, hey, like it doesn't do too much to stretching if you go full screen on Tate mode. So that's something.
But you don't want to do that. I have one of those Namco. I have a Namco little arcade machine that lets you stretch the screen vertically like that. The games don't look right. The aspect ratio doesn't look right.
It's only tiny.
It's less. Right. It's tiny bit, but it's still enough to be annoying to me.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could try it out, right?
I mean, if it's not. I mean, if it's only going to be a little bit anyways, what does it matter if there's a little black bar at the top and bottom of the screen?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Cool. See, they're already working on stuff, and that's what I think is great. There's no new hardware next year. They can focus on all these
that
little
know of. You're just assuming that.
No, I do know.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, it's like it's always never say never.
Yeah. If it is hardware, it's going to be. It's going to be like an accessory if they do that. They're not going to release another console or anything.
Evercade VS2.
Oh man, Super VS.
The Super VS. Yes.
Oh man, that'd be wild. See, now he's teasing you. Do you know?
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. So, all right. Well, does anyone else have anything else that's like a quick
Oh,
question.
we can't count accessories as hardware. We don't count.
Right,
Okay, that's good to know.
What do you count it as then?
It is hardware. It's not software.
If you don't
It's
want
not software. What is it like?
if you don't want
We'll
to build
stop
in
now.
smart Evercade TV, nice.
Like a plushie or something? I don't
Very cool. So yeah, I mean, if anyone else has any last questions, like, go ahead, throw that out there. How's that game feel though, Grow?
It's not bad. It's interesting. There's one jump that I kept missing because I wasn't getting the timing right, but since I got it,
get good.
Yeah, I gotta get good. And why can't I get up there? There we go.
There we go.
It's made by the same guy who did Quest Arrest, so it should be.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Retro
Well,
Room or whatever.
Time to peace out.
Yeah. Oh, see? Hey, Sean has a question.
Yeah.
What's the best game I've played so far on the EXP? Asteroids with a bullet.
There you go.
Oh
That's
man, that's a
awesome.
tough
100%. You did it again. You know, like, whoever is like doing all of the design aesthetic of the controller, you did it again. I liked the original OG handheld, and kind of like cemented my enjoyment of Evercade based on Atari Collection 1 and Asteroids and that D-pad. And I was like, well, it's never going to feel any better. And then when I put my thumb on the D-pad, I'm like, now I'm worried. Is Asteroids going to feel as good? Yes. So Asteroids, 100%. You know, because it's what I grew up with. And if you can make those games feel like somehow better than what I remember when I was a kid playing those games in that room over and over again, then that's
what
a
if the
hat
question
right
was altered just a little bit and said the best game you've played that you hadn't played before?
Oh, that I hadn't played before. Well, you'd have to stay tuned because I have to go and play some more games that I haven't played.
Yeah,
so far,
just
so
got it.
far.
Yeah, so far there hasn't been any that I haven't played. Yeah, I mean, I played 1943 on before, so like. Yeah, I've played most of the Capcom games. I've already played somewhere else. The only one that I haven't played was Vulgus, so I have to play that, and then I'll let you know. But yeah,
Be awesome.
They're my go-to. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's another one right there. Any HDMI issues on the EXP? Stay tuned because as soon as I find my adapter, my HDMI to mini adapter, I will be plugging this in and doing some stuff. That'll be next week's videos.
I don't know if I'll ever use that.
Oh
yeah, because of the VS. So
I mean,
well, yeah, you know what? You would because how else are you gonna play Namco collections on a TV? How else are you gonna play Capcom collections?
I don't
on a
need
TV?
to. I play I play 75% of my. But I play 75% of my games on handhelds. So,
but if you want to play on the TV,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to fund for 5 the Capcom collection. You gotta.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I've got to peace out, guys.
Yeah.
I'm late.
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
Until next week. Bye,
Yep,
everyone.
See you, Pete. So, but yeah, very, very good stuff. Very good stuff there. Somebody's fan of fiction's tagging. Atari Collection 3. Yeah, why not, right? We had indents around the slot to prevent the same issues we have with the OG handheld. What was that?
did it have something to do with the cartridges being too tight or something?
Well, but they still have the same issue with the original carts, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Oh, for the HDMI. Indents around the HDMI.
Yes. That is 100% correct. There is the indent right there. I mean, that's sizable too. So
wait a minute. I don't know if my adapter would fit in there. Well, maybe it would.
Yeah. No, I'm imagining that my adapter will fit in there too.
With HDMI fit, yeah.
I mean, if not, I mean, I can just go to Best Buy. And
well, if it's indented like that,
cables.
if your adapter has like a wider like stop point, then it's not going to fit in.
Mm-hmm. So, but I'm pretty sure that the one I have will work. I just have to find it now, because of the VS, I wasn't doing anything. Any of the capturing, and I hadn't done any since there was something we had to do for Namco, and I had to do that on the handheld. Was it the 2nd anniversary thing?
Could have been.
You and I did, Ed. Did we have to do that on Namco? That puzzle game?
No, that was Dead East.
It was Dead East. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right, because it was Dead East Arcade that we did the thing for.
But for me, if anything, I use it for capturing footage because it is much easier just to plug in, like for me, just to plug in a handheld than to like fetch my VS from the other room. So for me, like I'll use it for capture.
Yeah, for sure.
The only downside is you wouldn't be able to capture in 1080p.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That's fine because I mean, YouTube re-renders it in 1080. It's for making content. It's not that noticeable.
You can't go take it to 720p video. You can upscale it to 1080p, but it's not going to be as good as if you just captured at 1080p.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a stay tuned, Julian. I haven't gotten there yet. I played a ton of other games that were on there, but then after I did that, after I did the stuff waiting for things to edit on the quick look, I put the EXP down. It was in my office, and then went out and did stuff, and then didn't come back until this morning. So, yeah, more of that will come in the next hours for sure. And then the Tate mode with the closeness of the buttons. There was only one scary moment where I was playing 1942, and I thought that I was about to hit the Tate button, and I just realized I was actually just kind of holding it like in a weird angle. So if you hold it like this, right, you've got your thumbs here and you got your fingers up here, you're never hitting the T button. So you're good to go. But if you curve it in, if you curve your fingers in, then there is a shot that your right hand is going to knock into that T button. Because it depends on how you hold it.
Does the T button activate while you're in the game?
Yes.
Does it just instantly flip?
Yeah, you just keep hitting it and it'll go. But yeah. But like I said, it's all on how you put the old fingers. So wonder how many watching or waiting for the earlies who would not purchase a White XP. I mean, that's probably a whole bunch. Yeah. Ed right there. He's one. He's one for sure.
Evercade effect is waiting, but it'll be good.
Yeah, and it would have been me. I'm dead serious. It would have been me if it wasn't for the fact that I cleaned out that drawer at work and found that check. If I didn't find that check, I don't have one of these.
Oh, I was on the fence of buying a white EXP anyway because I liked the way it looked better than the black one. And then as soon as I heard about the robbery, I was like, oh, that was a trigger. I was like, okay, I'm ordering one.
Yeah. So, Lee Delve, how's the light bleed on the bottom of the unit? So I haven't been in a room that was totally pitch black, so I can't answer that question, I guess, accurately. But in this room right now, with everything on, like I don't know, you can't see anything. It just looks like normal EXP action. Like it looks fine to me. I don't see anything like glaring that would be one of those things. But if I was in a dark room and all the lights were off, yeah, maybe I'd notice something. But I'd be too focused on the screen to care about the light bleed thing. I mean, I've seen it, obviously the other videos, but they said that actually one of those things that came out of the Q&A, somebody asked Ryan that question. It's like, is it possible to possibly like take those like firmware and sort of like mitigate or fix some of that stuff? And the answer was yes. So who knows? Who knows what we can do there? Somebody said something about an app. Any chance of getting an Evercade app next year? That'd be kind of cool. Just get like little like pushes from the blog to an app.
Oh,
that'd be neat.
I see.
That it's called Discord, Twitter.
Yeah, you could do that. That is true. But people like an app. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. Get a little Katie.
I could
say like, here's the cool news.
Yeah, but I can tell you why they probably won't do that, because in the end, it would, unless they have a program that could push all of it, because it would just create more work for Sean, right? Like I think the idea is like you want people to go to their social medias, but I mean, cool suggestion, but I think
yeah. Oh, and absolutely, they could put a software lock on it to when you hit the button, it would keep it in there, and you could just toggle it in a menu. That'd be easy enough.
Or even just you have to hold it down for like 3 seconds or something.
Yeah, to make it go. Yeah, yep, absolutely. The closeness of the A and B buttons in Tate actually doesn't feel so bad. they're not too close to like you're gonna hit both buttons. At least for not for my thumbs. I mean, they're not huge, but they're a substantial thumb, I guess. I didn't have a problem with it at all, for sure. So, all right, cool. What else we got?
Yeah, when I get mine, I'm gonna go full geek. I can't I might do a video just comparing all the D-pads, another video on the LCD. Like I cannot wait to compare.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I'm gonna do too. I mean, listen, I understand that like something like Steam Deck is a $400 device. You have your Game Boy Advance, but I want to compare all the D-pads. I want to, and I'm hoping, I want to be like at this price point, this is actually really incredible. Like I think it's fair just to knowing that they're different price to see like how good it is. Like I can't wait to test all that stuff and do a full like geeky dive on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing a little experiment.
Awesome.
That's so sad.
Right.
He's mean to his Evercade. He tortures.
That's cool though.
Well, this is the one that I used for parts for the other one when I broke the cartridge slot. But then I found a replacement cartridge slot, and when I was putting this back together, I realized I ruined the pads on which the battery was plugged into. So I had to hardwire the battery into the circuit board.
Or you should just start a new series, call it Frankencade, like how you've taken it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Well, I have to the reason I took this apart is because I'm missing a button. I lost one of the buttons. I think I can make a new button.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh man.
Because this thing's been apart for it was sitting in a box apart for around a year, I think.
Wow.
And so when I realized I could get a new cartridge slot, it's like, hey, I'll buy one and see if I could put this back together. And then when I was putting it back together, I realized, hey, I'm missing a button.
Oh man. I did
that. This one is the one I modified.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was like, why? I thought it was like, dude, why are you being so dirty? And then I saw this and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was like,
what are you crank on the Evercade? Just do crank games. Oh my goodness.
I could add a crank. It won't do anything though.
So, all right. But anyway, I think we're pretty good right now, right? Does anyone want to do any kind of like a preview and get some cool stuff coming up on the channels?
Yeah, I'll do my shameless plugs. So, initially, as you all know, my primary channel, is dedicated to Evercade, which is a blessing and a curse at times. You just have to pivot. Like, yes, I was looking forward to covering the XP. That'll it's fine. Hopefully, get that sometime in January. But what I do have planned for Monday is I am doing my first impressions of the game of the month, and then I'll tell you all after that for the last video of the year. It's the video that I titled the video that nobody asked for. It's all my weird Evercade intros.
Nice.
Back to back. And I think it ended up being like 5 or 6 minutes. So yeah, that'll always be fun. I mean, that's something I do every year just because, and I do feel the content gap. No, so I'm doing all that. And then, on secondary channel, been doing some different, other retro stuff like Steam Deck, maybe doing some other things, trying to keep my Evercade channel pure because I know that's what y'all, that's what y'all like. And, me and Rich have been, we're playing. You'll probably see more content maybe as well from him. Not that I'm putting any pressure on him. To do some other stuff. I may get the chance to get hands on like an arcade 1-up. So I might put, but all that stuff will be on the secondary channel. So there'll be more.
Do you have
more of that? And while I am still waiting for the EXP, I am going to be, I'll still be having Evercade content. I might do a countdown. I might have to do a take a playbook from Pete, do a countdown on the EXP.
You're going to curse it if you countdown.
No more countdown.
No more countdown. Yeah, but I'll find other weird, crazy stuff.
You have this other channel already up?
Calling all retro gamers, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, is that it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was a new channel other than that.
Yeah, so just to give a minute plug of that. So me and Rich have a second channel where we do a podcast and we talk everything, retro, indie, modern. And keep in mind that one of the reasons why we do love Evercade so much is because of all the retro games stuff was inspired by. So it's kind of like a channel for me and him to do a live podcast, talk about all that other stuff, and to talk about things that aren't Evercade related. Because while we do love Evercade, we also love other things that don't fit into our channels. So that that's where it puts it there, and that's why I'm sticking with keeping, for me, since I started off as the Evercade Effect, I'm keeping that main content here. But would encourage people just to sub to the second channel, because we also do an awesome live podcast, and that's the whole reason we're trying to grow that second channel.
Yep.
That's why in my feed, I think I put out a joke. I said if you love Pac-Man, sub to my second channel.
Nice. Yes.
That's that little guy in
the
corner there. It's kind of hidden.
Good stuff. Yeah. Very.
That's
cool.
what I got plugged.
Yep. And then for as far as that live show goes, we should be getting Monday going on too. So what do you got, Crow? What do you got coming up?
Well, on the 15th, the day the Evercade EXP officially came out, there was also an update on Pinball FX. So I was actually playing that instead, because there were 4 new tables that were added that were previously only available in the Apple. There was a game in the Zen Pinball Party, which was in the Apple Arcade only. So
okay.
But then they had all these other announcements, and I thought we were going to get the Addams Family this month, but then they were like, "Oh no, it's going to be on release." So I was like, "Oh, that." But then they also announced the release for February. So I've already put out the video for that this morning.
That's
cool. So I'm just going through C64 collection. I actually played through Marauder, but I'm putting those videos together as well that go up on the capture channel, which is where you're grabbing the footage for that. So I was kind of in the middle of putting that together as well. And then presumably I'm going to get the EXP today. So maybe I'll have a video on that. I don't know. Maybe I can't tell you how many times I've started to make an unboxing video, and then I've looked at the footage and it's like, never mind. And I delete it.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So even the audience is getting in the action here. Ballistic Coffee Boys, he's got a holiday special. Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. He's got awesome content. He does all sorts of cool interviews and stuff. Very cool stuff. Check him out, especially if you're into Atari. And even Sean's getting in the action. Going to reboot his channel. I gotta go check that out.
Yeah.
Drop some links in like the Twitters and the Discord
voice.
when you get that going. I'm definitely checking that out.
Yeah, Sean has a great announcing voice. Like he needs to.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, no, it's you need somebody to voice over some stuff, 100%. But then also over here, we're gonna be diving back in to some EXP, of course, for another couple of days. Checking out the game of the month, also, because that's we do Fun for 5 on just about everything, Evercade related. And then somewhere in the middle of the week, the gears will just rapidly change all the way back in time to the year 1982. And where it'll be very heavily Atari related all the way through the end of the year. Because I have a cool idea that I just want to do. And so that should be fun. That should be really cool. And then other than that, hey, news breaks, whatever, we'll be here for you. Talking all sorts of cool stuff, and then eventually we'll get to doing things like beating Golden Axe Warrior and all sorts of other fun stuff. So lots of fun stuff to come. So all right, cool.
The funny thing was, I just realized that I put up that video earlier this week on how I rank things, and based on people's comments in that, I might change it ever so slightly.
Nice. So all right, guys. Well, we will catch you. We'll catch you later. We'll be here next week, which would be cool. Normally we take a break, but this it just so happens that everything's kind of lining up where we're in the mix. So we'll see you. We'll see you next week for some more Evercast action. And until then, we will see you later. Take it easy, guys.
I hit a button, but you don't hear anything.